Hey guys, how's it going? It's Miyoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? Aloha, aloha. How are you guys? It's really, really cold here in Japan. Not only in my prefecture, but generally in Japan. I'm eating my hair. Generally, it's really cold. Uh, what should I talk about? Twitter? I haven't been actually following what's so-called Twitter files because I would have to translate, and I'm too lazy. Some people did that, but it's like there are versions, right, to Twitter files, like the phases. I'm not following everything, but what I can tell is so far is that I watched a bit of Fox News. I always do, and they were talking about how. What were they saying? let me let me remember. Oh yeah, FBI. Oh yeah, FBI. So after the 2016 presidential election, they made a force, made a team, and they were exchanging emails with the FBI. So they were together, basically like watching your own people, and that is a problem. And that reminds me of like Snowden. Do you guys remember Edward Snowden? I follow him on Twitter actually, and I have mixed feelings about him. Like it's as I come from another country, it's cool that I know what America is up to and how the system works. It's great knowledge too. Even though I'm from another country, like because like it's I am the like we have our alliance between Japan and America, but like I kind of like through I did see the movie of Snowden and I realized that America is not like completely, trusting Japanese people. And at the same time, though, like they are watching their own people, and it's not cool, to just expose your national secure like national like top secret to the public, especially to the world. I think it's wrong. If someone did that in my country, I would be furious. But at the same time, I just like thinking about things like that. I have this sense of problem that people should not be watching other people like that. Like, I mean, what the problem that I see when it comes to censoring and so forth is that it's usually the left controlling the society, right? And what was obvious was that when Twitter permanently banned Donald Trump, the leftists thought that they were like it was a good decision and they supported that. And when he came back, when he was no longer suspended, the left was like, "Oh my gosh, like what's happening to Twitter?" That was their reaction. On the other hand, when their journalists were suspended for no good reason, just like Trump, then they go crazy over it, right? Like name calling Elon Musk and so forth. And that's not fair. It's like you should the Twitter, of course, is a private service, so it's not like the rule of law like it's different, but it's basically the same. It should be the same. So, but anyway, I'm rambling. Is it snowing there? It was snowing a little bit in my parents' house area, and I've seen my friends from this prefecture saying that it's snowing. It's not snowing right now. I don't think it was. There was someone. I asked you guys what to call it, by posting the video footage. Like we were getting like something was falling and I didn't know what to call it. It's not snow, but someone said it's dust. But yeah, it did look like dust too. Like normal dust too. It's not snow dust, just dust coming down. Like when I take a picture, it's like black dots. It's weird. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna get really today it's are you comfy there? My husband is there. I wish I could show you guys how he's doing. He's on my gaming chair, and he has like he recently got this like it's not like I don't know what to call it, but it's to keep you warm, and it's only this part, just like this. And then he has a blanket, and he's all cozy. But anyway, yeah, Ohio, Ohio. Um, yeah, so it's supposed to be really cold today. Konnichiwa, Yoko. I feel quite depressed. What? A lot of the bad stuff happening in my country has affected me. What do you do to turn your frown upside down? Ooh. Yeah, I saw the I follow many, not many, but a few people from America. I mean, Japanese people living in America, and I saw the picture of a like a bread store, I guess, and they showed a price tag of breads, and what was that? It was super expensive, and like the economy here is really bad, but is awful there in America too. But yeah, I guess that for me it doesn't affect too much because we don't use cars, you know. But Americans, they drive everywhere, and yeah, I don't know. I can't even imagine what you're going through. But what do you do? There are always things that you can do, you know, like politically, and also I always look at like when I confront problems, I think to myself that this is actually what Jack Ma said before, you know, from China. You know, so I shouldn't really praise him, but he did say something very smart, which was that, you know, problem is a problem because you don't know the solution. So, and that's a similar way of thinking is very common here too, that for us, you know, when we confront when we face problems, that's because there are lessons that we need to learn. So yeah, once you learn, you know, how to get around, then it's no longer problems. But I don't know, man, you gotta you gotta if I were you, I think that I would have to think about how to live, but at the same time, I would try to, you know, keep my mental state healthy. So in order to do that, I would do political activities, you know, forming up a team and preparing a slogan and do set a time and date and do the political activities. Looking beautiful and elegant as always. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your compliment. I really appreciate it. I try. Hello, all. Hello. Hello, Yoko and Hidetoshi. Yes. It's amazing that you guys can spell my husband's name correctly, right? And it's Hidetoshi, right? It's even for me, it's like when I do, as you can see, I have like a Japanese podcast with him, and then every time I introduce his name, like him with his name, I'm like Hidetoshi. Like I can't say his name really fast. So yeah, and foreigners, our foreigner friends always struggle with pronouncing his name. Like he says that people can call him Hide, but Hide seems to be a little difficult. So it's like he and de, right? Hide. I don't know why it's difficult, but it is too cold. Too cold. He's learning English well, I think. Wait. Almost every Trump supporter completely supports Snowden and Julian Assange. Huh, interesting. Oh, because conservative people want to do things by their own, and they don't want the government to monitor them all the time and so forth, right? Hmm, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's like because my country is a little bit of everything, right? So yeah, America is so simple. Americans are so like everything is so simple, right? That's cool. Not here. It's so chaotic here. Hi, Yoko. Hi. Those who value control of others over self control, you have tyranny. No matter the excuses. Interesting. Yeah. Because in Japan, for example, we have the national insurance that everybody is in the insurance thing and we have to pay, but then our medical care it's less expensive. We only have to pay for 30%, I think. So it's good, but like when I look at like Obamacare and how people opposed to that, from like conservatives opposed to that, but then Obamacare was a little bit of a different story because it would attack the middle class and so forth. So yeah, mafia, yeah, something like that, but it's complete. There's it's not like a kilt, it's round. Like it's connected. Is the producer looking for a belly rub? Does he want ice cream? He was eating ice cream already this morning. Yes, he's a doggy with he likes ice cream. Maybe he gets along with Biden. Is there a Japanese version of Jordan Peterson who speaks primarily to Japanese men? We don't have that sort of political arguments here, like identity politics. We only talk about we do refer to like feminism and LGBT and that sort of stuff, but only a little bit because it's not really a problem here. We are tolerant culturally to LGBT type of people. We just don't allow them to get married. But we do have a partnership happening. In some urban cities in Japan now they allow LGBTQ type of people to basically like it's like getting married, but a little bit like a system wise it's different, but it works the same. So we conservatives don't oppose to that much, and men in particular, it's the people from I don't actually know exactly what Jordan Peterson is saying, but I often hear from people overseas that Japanese men are becoming more soft and women-like, and what you call the social kake. I don't know the translation in English, but yeah, like eating not meat but weeds and so on. But yeah, but Japanese men were always like that. So I don't know what to say to that. It's in Japan, Japanese women like myself, I always try to let my husband grow. Like, he stands out and I'm behind him, but actually I'm like pulling the strings and so forth. And um that's like our traditional culture, which is still alive today, if you know what I mean. It's women. Women are strong. So when women are tough on guys, they will be tough, if that makes sense. So what I think, especially from coming from a Shinto based ideas, is that women, mothers have to be smart, and that's where everything starts because sons, children, male children, and they learn from mothers. So when I lived in Sasebo, it did snow on one day. One day, it shut down work and people got in a lot of car accidents. No, I shouldn't be laughing, right? No, sorry, people die and so on. So that's not good. But like the way you put it was funny. Yeah, yeah. There was already a case where it's from a few, I don't know, within a week, I think it happened. But so it's snowing, so it's kind of frozen, or freeze. I don't know the adjective. Yeah, it's very slidey, and the cars are running. And then in Japan, it's been a problem that sometimes people honk. Honk? Huh? What do you say that? And then like to send a signal that, hey, you're cutting in, that's bad, right? So what are you doing, right? You do that too, right? And then but then people that got that signal get really angry, and then they come out from their car, and then they fight, and then somebody gets hit by the following cars and so on. And it creates this disastrous situation, but it's been a thing. And but it already happened. Someone got off from his car, but the guy was actually not really crazy. Like, people are dumb nowadays. But yeah, you gotta be careful on when it snows. 秀俊、発音はちょっと大変ね。大変ね。He has run for elections before, and I've helped him the last 3 times or so. And every time in Japanese style, we during the election period, like 2 weeks or so, we go on a car and it's his name and face, right? And then I get on a microphone and call his name. Hidetoshi, Hidetoshi, Hidetoshi. And I repeat it, and I'm like, I'm going crazy, Ishii Hidetoshi. So difficult. America is not simple. So many problems. No, that's because people are stating simple-minded things. This is my right, and then the rights of each other conflicts and so on. Like, I mean, there are lots of problems, and it's so complicated, like when it's integrated. But like, it's I don't know. Americans, I would say that people are just straightforward in a way about what they insist. Like, not Japanese people. I wish Elon would also release the files on what Twitter was doing in regards to Japan. They were definitely censoring Japanese voices on right. Yes, exactly. They were manually like いじるってなんて言うんだ英語で Wait, let me see. Messing, feeding. No, not that easy. Like they were changing things around in the trend tab and so on. And also they would insert like parenting problems and so on to like what seems to be a hot topic, like you randomly see the topics that you're not following, right? Like from the accounts that you're not following, you see all of a sudden like, oh, it's a hot topic, it's related to what you saw or liked, and we get like tweets that we are not interested in. And I was wondering why, because I kept seeing like parenting problems. It's basically like people, housewives or just female, mothers complaining about their husband and so on. And I would see that sort of tweeted all the time, and it has nothing to do with my life or my preferences. So I was wondering why, but it turns out that they were manually doing that to make people see. So yeah, there are problems like that. Like for me that was the case, but I bet that it has a variations. Yeah, I want to know that too. But they were mostly fired, right? It's only like 2 people or whatever. I don't know how many are left, but that leaves problems. So I know that it's just a temporary phase that we are going through right now. That I know that Elon Musk will hire many like good people on the Japanese branch, but right now, like me and my husband, we get lots of like nasty comments and so on, like haters are everywhere. Right? And we want them to deal with that, but there no, there are not enough people to handle that, so that's a little like slightly annoying, but whatever. Don't care how secret the government's illegal stuff is. It's illegal. The only bad thing about Snowden is the people he exposed were not thrown in prison. Ah, interesting. Okay, I see. Do you know anything about the Okinawa diet? Okinawa diet. Apparently, it's the reason they live longer than anyone on Earth. Um, I think they eat a lot of pork. 沖縄料理。沖縄料理って、だから沖縄人めっちゃ長生き。だから何食べてんのかなみたいな。なんでかなって。なんで長生きかって？Maybe because it's rural area too. But they don't seem to have problems. Like, China is invading and they probably have no idea, just minding their own business and eating healthy stuff without like the poison from the urban cities and so on. But the sugar and stuff, what is called sugar cane, that's popular, right? From there, it's like the stuff that grow there. I have a feeling that it has lots of nutritions and so on. Could be it. I've never been to Okinawa though, so I don't know. Yeah, and maybe the temperature and everything too. Yeah, I'm not a scientist, so I have no idea. Ice cream biting, yes. Herbivore man, yes. Social care. How do you pronounce it? I gotta remember. I have a notebook now on which I'm writing all the English vocabulary, just like I was doing when I was in high school, just so that I can look back and actually learn. Let's make this guy read it. Huh? Harbor herb herbivore. Herbivore. That's so difficult, man. I saw an interesting video of a girl comparing Asians versus Western ideas of masculinity. Oh yeah, interesting. But I think she was wrong in conclusion. Culture affects, but it's mostly nature. Yeah. And also, like, I think what happens is that in society, in each country, what you hide or what you refrain yourself from and that sort of stuff are different. So when it's exposed, then women go like, oh, that's where the masculine side is, and so on. But I don't know if I because Japanese women tend to want somebody that would make a good father, or someone when they fall in love though, like love at first sight type of thing. That when it comes to appearances, Japanese women just like beautiful boys, right? And yeah, that's all what matters. But when they are looking for somebody to get married with, they look for good looking but very helpful at housework, and of course like make money, enough money. Money is really huge here in Japan because it's very women are generally conservative, and there are those women that want to work, but I think the ratio is that the majority just want to be a mom, at home. So of course they're gonna look for somebody like a man with the abilities to make that happen. So, but on the other hand, Western girls, they are very independent, and they're like, it's individualism, right? So they want to do everything by their own, like generally, not maybe not conservative women, but what I see often is that they want to just live their life, they want to build their own career, and they want to have their job and control every day as they want, and they have the to-do list and everything. And yeah, and guys should be like just tough and masculine on the outside. And yeah, it's usually Eastern and Western culture. They are the opposite, I feel. Yeah, I see is the word I was looking for. Hong Kong. Yes, yes, yes. Study my cars. No, but it was funny. Everything froze over. Everything is frozen over. It's icy. What is the difference with freezed? Don't you say freezed? Freezer, freeze, frozen. I get confused. Hi, Yoko. Hi. And greetings to all from the country of the living sky. What do you think about Victor Orban? Oh, the guy that was. Wait, what? What? Okay. Hungarian. Hungarian 首脳ビクター・オルバン。オルバンについてどう思いますか？
コンサバティブなんじゃない？
Conservative? Supposed to be?
だからあれジョージ・ソースと戦ってたの。
Fighting against George Soros. But then it's not
難
simple.
民流入規制してることはいいと思うし、家族を大事にしてることもいいと思うし。
It's good that he is fighting against immigrants and values families
彼らの歴史を大事にしてることも。
and cherishes the history of Hungary.
まあ、
But
ソロスと戦ってるのももちろん OK なんだけど。
it's great that he's fighting against George Soros. But
プーチンがどうもロシア、プーチンの方に行っちゃって、
but we have the impression that he's going towards the direction of Putin. So that's we find that a problem. Yes. Yes, yes. Social media is a weapon to being used to destroy society and culture, starting with the youth. Yes. Like what's been happening in Japan is that young people are falling into lookism, that people care so much about appearances. And there was an article recently which showed the examples of young girls wanting to get plastic surgeries and how it's bad for them, like the plastic surgeries, like according to the experts, is supposed to be the last method for your beauty, like you try everything, your diet and your exercise and all sorts of things that you can do. And then when everything doesn't work out, then you can try surgeries. And also growing up, people change a lot, right? But bone structure and everything. But young girls lately, like they use filters all the time, and there are public figures everywhere, like influencer type, and they're beautiful, and they're doing all these surgeries and everything, like no deal. And so that's their basic understanding is, so they're suffering like that, and they're easily bullied too through through the applications on smartphones. And yeah, that's been a problem here too. But I grew up though, like when I was 15, that's when I intensely started to study English. And so what that meant to me was that there were nobody to speak English with, like study or practice English with locally. So I went online and I was always in Yahoo chat rooms. I don't know how old you guys are, but in my time there were chat rooms. And so like I would go there to, talk to my people. And I always so what I'm trying to say is that I always used the internet, growing up, like since 15 years old. but I turned out okay. I guess I had lots of problems too, and I did get depressed, comparing myself to others. But yeah, nowadays I guess that especially girls, they compare themselves too much. That it was already a thing with magazines and celebrities, but it's more people to compare yourself with. 魚を食べて chocolate. Chocolate, yeah, I love chocolate, but I want to try real chocolate, instead of the sugar-based chocolate. If you look on the back of the ingredients of a chocolate that's sold in grocery stores and so on, it's basically sugar fudge and then a bit of cacao, That's not chocolate. Yeah. Oh, wait. Have you met anyone who is Ainu? Are they leftist because of their minority status? No, I've never met Ainu. Ainu の人に会ったことありますか？
ねえよ。
He's like, ねえよ。
どこにいるの？
He said, where are those people? Yeah, we never meet them. Same for Okinawa too. Like yeah, like all these leftists, they try to make that there were locals first and that they should get independent, and they say that in order to divide Japan, right?
アイヌよりもアイヌの権利があって言ってるやつの方が多い。
Okay, he said, my husband just said that there are more people that demand the rights of Ainu than Ainu themselves. That's a really good point. That's probably true. Funny. Yeah. Because every day I've lived all my life here in Japan, and I've never met anybody that's Ainu. Or like it's like I don't have the situation to meet them or to think about them even. Like my understanding is that Japanese people are just Japanese people, and we are all proud to be Japanese. What is the population of Japan's general opinion on Elon Musk? In America, liberals hate them. I think it's the same, because it's like Japanese people copy Americans. Like it's kind of sad when you think about it, but yeah, it's the same. And I think it's because we're connected more than before, like between Japan and America. And English is not too hard for us to study, so many people understand English here, even though the majority don't speak. But at the same time, what happens is that, so we have the basic problem that our media outlets are left biased, just like America. So especially people on the right side, conservatives, right wings, like people like myself, we see the problems of the mainstream media, and when they report negatively about Elon Musk, then we get a hunch that then Elon Musk must be on our side. There are dynamics that you can see. But as for Twitter, because Japanese people have been using Twitter massively for a long time, we have the same problem. So just like another person, just like Nate was saying, we have had problems on Twitter. So yeah, like my friends would be banned often, even me, when I criticized this show on TBS for being very like extremely leftist, I tweeted many times talking about this specific TV show of TBS, our TV station. And and they are reporting my tweets to Twitter, their company, like directly. Like I received the email, so I know how they did it. But they sent, these are violating the copyrights of TBS. So because I attached what I saw on TV, and it's just basically I was talking about, like, I had this using my freedom of speech, right? Like I was just talking about the content for being extreme, and then the lawyer team, or lawyer one person though, of the station claim that my tweets are violating their copyrights, and then I'm banned. Like they tried to, it's not the banning, but I might have gotten like a 1 day or several days suspension, but basically I had to delete for violating copyrights, even though there are a bunch of people that are just showing um, all the screenshots, or the TV screen and so on, in their pictures, and they attach the pictures to their tweets, and they don't have problems. But because I criticized their content, I was attacked, and they did that for 4 times or so, like 4 of my tweets. So if I violate one more time, I guess I'm supposed to be suspended or some sort. So just like that, I've had problems, and I know that I'm not the only one here. And in fact, when I received the email from Twitter about me violating the copyright, there were, I think, 4 other accounts with the same message, like these accounts are violating the copyright. So yeah, that's what I got. And that's why, for example, I often take a picture of the screen of NHK and so on, and put on Twitter. But because that's definitely, like, it's NHK, for especially, is our public broadcasting service. So it's supposed to be news, and it's not like copyright and that sort of stuff. So I use that, and I wish that I could show other TV stations screen and so on, and translate and so forth. But I'm not gonna take the risk, So yeah, yeah. We love you, Yoko-san. Thank you. We love you too. Man, I feel like sometimes I get a feeling that my hair is touching my face, but no, really though. Weird. We don't say freezed. Oh, okay. Just frozen, frozen. So, right, there was a movie Frozen. Right. Please say hi to your husband, Yoko-san. Hi. He waved. Plastic surgery on women is beginning to make them all look the same. I know. So in Japan, we see South Korean women often, like on celebrities, looking the same. So we even have like a saying, like like or like how do you say that in English? I wonder. Mass production. We call like a plastic surgery, like same face, like it's the type of mass production. Is Japanese wokeism like here in the US towards transgenders? No, we don't have that problem. Like the liberals try to copy what liberals in the US are doing, but it doesn't expand because we don't have that problem. As I said, we are culturally very tolerant towards LGBTQ. So there are lots of gays and those who want to, you know, to appear in like women clothes or wear makeup, like, and they look like women, and we love that. So yeah, like we are open, just not when it comes to marriage system. We don't allow them to get married like when a man and a woman get married, because we've had this traditional system and we don't want to blow it up. So but other than that, just enjoy your life. So liberals don't have anything to oppose to. So yeah. Any question from my husband? I wonder. He's lost interest. He's like, I'm copying you. He says, Frozen. I'm so kind to laugh at his stupid jokes. But anyway, I just found your Twitter account. Oh, you didn't know my account? Yeah, I'm active on Twitter at Random Yoko. Also, I have Getter. I have an Getter account too. So same Random Yoko. But yeah, recently, by the way, I have to mention that our administration announced the new national security strategy. And it's amazing how America is welcoming, at all levels. It's Biden, and Biden was welcoming in his tweets, and what's her name? Nancy Pelosi, and I have all the list of people. I can't open I'm using my phone as my camera, so I can't open. But yeah, Sullivan and Austin and who else? Something like that. Like all levels, So that was good. And they were welcoming, and I don't think I've ever seen things like this, the America welcoming our strategy this much. But it was such a historic move of Japan. We now can have counter strike ability and so on, even though our constitution prohibits us from having having military forces. And the liberals always say that having a militaristic power like this violates our constitution. But so then I'm like, let's revise our constitution. But then they oppose to that. So I'm like, what are you saying then? So it's the same logic. They oppose to every move, and they want to keep the status quo. But at the same time, they want to be protected, so doesn't make sense logically. 頑張ってください。誠にありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。頑張ります。Huh? Viktor Orban brought CPAC to Hungary in May, the first CPAC conference in Europe, and Viktor was a key speaker in Dallas in this fall. He won the election the fourth time in a row with 2/3. Wow, that's
来たよ。オルバンの支持者っていうか、何人もいっぱいいる。
yeah, we met Hungarian people at CPAC Japan which was held early December, like this month. Yeah, we talked to the speaker, like here, the guy that spoke here. He was really nice too.
何人
Yeah, there were several people, but they're my husband is going through the name cards that we got.
同じオルバンだったけどね。
Yeah, same name Orban.
Political Director of the Prime Minister.
Political director or prime minister? 名前は
バラーズ・オルバン。
バラズ・オルバン。Yeah, so someone, came, and there were many Hungarian people, so that was cool. But yeah, we have to be careful for, like, it's like a European situation. I talked to somebody else that came from Europe to our European Conservative, was it? The magazine. Yeah, Ellen was here, and I talked to her, and I it was the example she used was very interesting. Like what she and others want, is just a family. Um, a father, a mother, and the children, and that's not crazy, right? And that was her expression. Now I laughed so much, but yeah. And the problem of EU, like it's so difficult because if you don't get together, then your economy would fall. But at the same time, you don't want to be told what to do by who you didn't elect. And if they can't, um, respect your culture, that's bad. like what is that, right? So like I completely understand where conservatives in Europe are coming from.
まあ、
It's
とにかくね、
really
まあ、メルケルのやつがさ、
mm,
中東の移民をいっぱいシリアの移民を
mm,
ね、
mm,
大
mm,
量に入れてバカなことしたからね、
mm, mm,
まあ、オルバンがね、それをシャットアウトしたことはね、
mm,
俺は
mm,
正しいと思うんだよ。
My husband thinks that when Merkel, the from Germany, when she let in all the immigrants from
シリ
Syria,
ア、
Orban opposed to that.
国境に確かフェンス作ったの。
Like he established fences at the borders, and
そう、
my
俺らの
and my husband thinks that that's, of course, like it's something that one country should do.
だからまあトランプと一緒だよ。
So
その
yeah,
不法移民が
just like Trump, that they are against illegals. So that's.
まあだけどとにかくね、ロシアに近づくのはやめてくれる。
But our desperate
ロシアと中国は
opinion is that please do not approach Putin, Russia or China. Don't establish ties with them because it will make things worse.
日本の敵だからロシア
And they are Russia and China are our enemy, Japan's enemy for sure, especially China. Yes. Yeah, even Russia, man. Like we defeated them though back in 1905, 100 years ago. We need to win again, you know. Yeah, so like Russia, like it's not. I'm not, as a Japanese, I'm not surprised by how Putin is fighting today against Ukraine. He ignores all the rules and so forth. Treaties and laws. Like it doesn't mean anything to him, and it's not only his problem. It's been Russia's problem. Like Russia and Japan had a treaty, that we don't like attack each other and so forth, but they dropped the treaty one-sidedly and then started to invade Japan at the end of the World War II when everything was going kind of chaotic. So they do that, and that's like people like that take control of the country. So yeah, that's our enemy. The problem, though, is that my husband and I were talking earlier that the problem is America's power is declining, and because of that, dictators like Putin or Xi Jinping, they can do whatever they want, and United Nations, as much as it has problems, it does have problems, but it was still functioning, right? And the resolutions that are decided there or approved there would mean a lot to all the countries, including dictatorship countries. But today, it's like it doesn't have as much dignity and power anymore when we decide things like legally. My husband is like cold. It's funny that I'm the same, but like when we Asians go like, oh, summer, like cold and so on, then our eyes becomes like a line, completely like small line, so like, it's like our eyes disappear. So that's funny. Oh man. I want Japan to build a really real military really military Gundam robot. A real giant Gundam robot. Oh yes. Actually there's a big like the actual sized Gundam nearby. I haven't been there though. I've never seen it in person, but they built a new one. Maybe we could put engine in it and let somebody ride on it. There's another that's been standing for such a long time in Akihabara, Tokyo, I believe. But yeah, I wonder なんか防衛三文書の良かった点とかいう。
やっと敵を攻撃する能力を持つんだって。
I just asked the good thing about our new national security strategy, and my husband said that we are finally having the counter-strike ability.
今まで
We didn't have that before. It was defense only. But in order to defend, you need the power or ability to attack your enemy, right? But we couldn't.
考えられない。
Can
ミサイルがいっぱい飛んできたらひたすら撃ち落とすだけ。
Can you imagine your country having only missiles to just counterattack when missiles from your enemies are launched or fired? Only after they launch, the enemies fires missiles, that's only when you can fire yours. And can you imagine your country being like that? But that's how Japan has been. But now it's changing. So it's cool.
5年後ぐらい。
In 5 years or so. So hopefully, I really hope that we can, protect our country until then. I was stationed in Japan at MCAS Iwakuni. Oh, nice. I've never been to Iwakuni. I want to go. I want to see. 行ったことある？
あるよ、航空祭。
Oh, my husband has been to Iwakuni for the festival.
あ、そう F16 だよ。
F-16 is there. It's cool that every time I ask my husband like about military stuff or bases in Japan, both JSDF and American bases, he knows what's there. Like, oh, there's that base and that base has this and that, and my husband somehow remembers all that stuff. Oh man, but he can't remember birthdays of women, so he finally remembered mine, so that's good. But just saying, that's just interesting how the brain of men work. Japan, America, and Russia should be allies. What? No broke agreements with Russia. No, NATO broke agreements with Russia. Huh. No, Russia, you can't trust Russia because it's good, I guess, for themselves that they stick to their national interests all the time. That's good for them, I guess, but not for us. We don't know when they will betray because we've been betrayed many times. And Russia, especially right now, even to Japan, Russia not only they are illegally possessing our islands, so-called northern islands, and also they come into our airspace all the time with China too. Sometimes, like they tour together sometimes, but they usually come alone and they try to collect data around Japan, and also they come into our territory, like airspace, around our territorial airspace, whatever it's called. And so they're our enemies for sure, and there's no way that we can have a normal relationship with them.
領土占領してるから。
言いました。
ついでに言うと、第二次世界大戦の平和条約までやってないから、正式には戦争終わってない。
Oh, with Russia, Japan has never signed the treaty, the peace treaty with Russia after the World War II. So technically, we're still at war. Huh. I've never had a thought about it. 考えたことがありませんでした。Does Japan have a military? No, we only have self-defense forces. Best defense is an offense. Yes, exactly. Yes, so Japan self-defense forces, they look like military and they are, doing joint exercises and so forth with the US Army and everything, but they're not an official army. They are self-defense forces that cannot attack first. We have to wait until enemies attack us and we get injured, right? And then we can do something about it. It's ridiculous. It's so ironic though. Can I be frank with you? Because Japan and the US went into war back in the day, the World War II. Oh, wait, before that, let me see this. Super chat, thank you. 20個のスーパーステッカー。YouTube で。I have to see that on YouTube, I guess. But thank you, though. Thank you so much. That's... 先にチェックした方がいいのかな、これ。What? I can't, どう見えてるそれ。見えるそれ。あ、20ドルのスーパーステッカーね。これなんか、コって書いてあったの、こっちに。Thank you for super chat! Thank you so much. Let me see. Oh, cute. Japanese style, and I see that thing. Thank you so much. This is what I do, so I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. I'm like, yes. Okay, where was I going with what was I talking about? I forget. Oh yeah, Japan and the US. So we went into war, we fought each other, and then after that, where was I going with this story though? Oh yeah, so Japan was basically America's enemy back in the day, right? I mean, it's mutual, maybe. You don't know. You never know. But we were America's enemy. And then after defeating Japan, America fought against communism and then needed the power of Japan. But by the time they wanted the power from Japan, America had got rid of our military. So that's why they came out with, like the Constitution. Biden was proudly speaking when he was the vice president, to Obama. He said in public, when he was making a speech to support Hillary, he said that we wrote the Japanese Constitution, and he was proudly saying that. And I know that it's common sense, but still, like a high-ranked official has never said that before. So that was the news here. So America wrote the Constitution. Why? Because wanted to suppress Japan. Because to America at the time, Japan was a threat, right? So we had to. We lost the war. We had to listen. So then we lost our military. And then America is like, no, we need to fight against communism. And then under like the police department, I suppose, we made like self-defense forces. So we can only still, like, we haven't revised the Constitution, so we can only defend. But then we contributed. And then America started Japan passing and went to China, invested in China, using them as a factory. And Japan was like, oh, we're gonna, be left alone. So we have to grow too, especially after everything was burnt, right, from the war. And then so we invested in China too. So we together built China, to and then they became big, and then now they are attacking us, right? And then now Japan and America, we have to team up even closer to do that. And then Japan revised our national security strategy this time, and America is like, yes, Japan, right? But if you look at the history, I'm like, why did you why did you vote against us to begin with, to get rid of our military? Like, isn't it kind of ridiculous? Like, I know that people at the time, from both countries, we tried the best, and that was the best the people of our countries could do. But still, like, it's very ironic. Like, oh, like, what was all the past decades? But finally, though, I think that we stand on the same page finally. So I'm not only like accusing American side, just so you know, like, our politicians and diplomats were bad at their job. Like, look at me, like, I'm reaching out to you, talking to you, and of course, the internet and everything, all the information and all the knowledge that I can gain is helping me. But still, like, yeah, our people should have done better. So that's what I think. But yeah, with the sacrifices and everything, now we know what not to do, though, to look on the bright side. So that's good. But yeah, so finally, Japan is just keeping up with the US. This time we are becoming wise. And thank you so much for your super chat. I would rather Japan rule Asia than China. World War II was a mistake in many ways. Happy to see you as always, Yoko. Thank you so much, and for your understanding too. I know that I can be rude to Americans sometimes, but I really appreciate your understanding. Yes. Yeah. And just so you know, just to give the credit for conservatives in the US, conservative people in the US at the time, before the World War II, they were against fighting against Japan. That they didn't want to go into war against Japan. Roosevelt did, though. And he was a Democrat. So it's Democrats who drove the country, like the big country, America. He dragged America into war, and Japan fought against the Democrat-led America. Oh man, it's always the same. It's like what? Who was it? Roosevelt versus 飛行機の人なんだっけな。アメリカファーストの。ライトの、違う。なんだっけな。
大西洋横断したやつにリッツ・カールトンじゃなくて。
Who was that? Lindbergh. Yes, he was saying America first at the time. But Roosevelt. Bleh. But yeah, it's Wilsonians. Thank you for super chat. America messed up. Yeah. Wasn't Trump attempting to get Japan arm itself, including nukes? Yes, that was when Japanese conservatives and right wings were like, "Oh, say that again." Yeah. Like, we were like, it was cool. トランプがね、日本は核武装すべきだみたいなね。He was saying that, but he had to correct the policy, probably gotten lots of knowledge or claims from people around him. But yeah, originally he didn't even care for us to get armed, What's crazy though is that it's good that US bases are here now, as a result. It's bad when you think about it. Like, we are supposed to be an independent nation, but there are US bases everywhere. That's not cool, I guess, as an independent nation. But a time like this, we need cooperation, and the Americans' umbrella is very effective for us, right? Especially when we don't have our official military. But if you look, for example, in Tokyo, the airspace above Tokyo, some of it are still like, we don't have the right So like planes, just tourist planes, like what do you call it, just a normal planes, airplanes, we have to go around the airspace. So that's, we still have problems like that, but yeah, oh well, but it's functioning, and it's, and there's no other relationship, no other alliance like Japan and America. Like once we were enemies, and the sacrifice was just enormous, especially on the Japanese side. But we're together now and we're cooperating so well. Yeah, it's amazing, man. Okay, I've taken apart three Yamaha motorcycles batteries. My oldest one was only one made in Japan, and my in mid late 90s, it was also the best made one by far. Yeah, Japanese products nowadays, though, they break, like plastic and so on. It used to be really good. Japanese made in Japan products were so good, and I'm proud of it. But recently, because parts are made in China, so they break easily. Like things are changing, and it's so sad. But at least, it's actually under Biden administration, but they are, America is now, uh, you know, making sure that you can have semiconductor and so on. And what's interesting is that Japan is saying that we have to have our own factory too, right? Like that's the discussion happening in every country on the free world side, I believe. But in Japan, we can't do it alone, not like it's not like one company, like let's say Sony or whatever, like it's not like they can do it by their own. They have to cooperate with other companies, so they formed this group, 10 companies or so. So it's like all the tech companies together, and they will work on their own semiconductor. But it's America is included too. I think. So like it's yeah, it's like we are made sure, I believe. Like I'm not I don't know in detail, so I could be wrong, so sorry if I'm mistaken, but if my understanding is right. Yeah, so it's like we are monitored in a way. uh, but yeah, Japanese ingenuity is scary in war. Ingenuity. he おお、創意工夫。Cool word. Ingenuity. Yeah. Because I believe the Pearl Harbor was, out of the ordinary, is the expression. Like, you didn't expect that would happen, that, like, we would come from the air space. Like, yeah. And also, all the, what you call, like, suicide attacks. Yeah. Like, yeah, we come up with crazy tactic. Democrats have historically been the war party. They still are. Yeah. I think though that it's important to, you know, mm, like develop our technology. And a war, when you go into war, it becomes a necessity to upgrade your technology and then do business, right? The people do business using that, and I get that, how it cycles. But yeah, it's always a Democrats, and I really want Democrats in the U.S. to understand the history of the Democratic Party. Like what they say, like, oh, we need democracy, we need world peace, but that interference is not bad, in my opinion. But that way of interference, like what happened as a result, like what how did it um help your nation. Sorry, my husband is eating natto. Why? Why? It's so random. Oh my god. なんでやねん。なんでなのね。Sorry, guys. My, I'm crying right now. I started to hear and I was, what's that sound? And I look over. My husband is like, and now he's eating and laughing with the threads, going on with nacho. Oh my gosh. I should name him Random Hide, man. I'm like, not me though. Not me though. I have tears though. Oh man. Like I have to be careful when I cry with makeup, because I don't want to mess up my makeup. But anyway. I'm Filipino. Japan went to war with Philippines also. We Filipinos did not like that. All is forgiven now though. フィリピンと戦った？ねえ。お兄さん？フィリピンと戦ったって。
フィリピンと戦ってねえよ。
戦ってないよね。
フィリピンはあなたの国の植民地でした。
どこの？いや、この人フィリピン人。Philippines was occupied by America, not Japan. No, colonized by America, not Japan. So that's why Philippines doesn't have military. So in Philippines, though, there were U.S. soldiers, so Japanese military fought against that, but not Filipinos. So probably like Filipino people, they went on either side. So that's the basic foundation you gotta see. Independent countries can help one another. Oh man, it's over an hour now. I've been talking. Independent countries can help one another. Dependent countries cannot. Yeah. That's probably why Lindbergh's child was killed. Really? Lindberghの子供は殺されてるんだって。Maybe. That's very possible. ジャパニーズにやめてもらえますかね。ちょっとその気を引き締めてもらっていいですかね。気と体を引き締めてもらっていいですかね。緩めないでもらえますかね。ちょっとさ、勘弁してくれよ。man. Sorry, guys. My husband makes me cry. My husband is he's such a child, He's like so free. Sorry. Japanese ingenuity seems to come from making steel weapons in the past. Then it grew to making steel into cars and ships. Just historically speaking, even like katana swords, that's a lot of technology there. Like it's not a technology that you imagine, but you need skills, to do that. And Japan has had this, like, we think so much and calculate everything, and yeah, it's it's interesting how, just like you said, the environment in the world has shifted, and as it shifts, our what we do shifts as well. So it's very interesting. Yeah. And Japan has all the possibility, that it's like our power is limited, but that's due to, of course, like America. Even though we are alliance, America doesn't want Japan to grow too much, right? So there's that limit. And also economically speaking, our economy is not good, because it's finally it's changing now. So if you look at the Japanese cabinet or discussions today, they are fighting over our tax. Should we increase our tax or decrease? So there are finally politicians are battling over that. But all the I can only speak about our history after the World War II. But it's the politicians always wanted to increase our tax and so on, and it has always put our economy in a bad cycle. And because of that, we cannot invest in young people, or even even for population. As you know, the Japanese population is declining, just like in other developed countries. And it's been a problem. Like, we can't sustain our country. There's like, we are pessimistic about what's going to happen, as for population. And that's something that we need to work on. But politicians are finally changing now. Sorry, I got distracted a little bit and I forgot. Miles?
Oh,
Kanye West knows he was behind propaganda. Kanye West what? Yes, not though. Nani? Oh, Super Chat, thank you. Keep fighting, keep calm and mandatory. Carry on. I'll have to catch the return. What do you mean, catch the return? But thank you always for coming to help out my channel. Thank you. I really appreciate Super Chat. Yes. I'm thinking of drawing some art piece again, because I really need to make money. We spent so much money this year, traveling around. I mean, not around to Tokyo, back and forth. So, yeah. Japan created new things in metallurgy to make the swords very impressive. Yeah. Good early use of aircraft carriers too. What is this? They break tail fins. The torpedoes are what enabled the Pearl Harbor attack. Huh. That's sorry. The English is too difficult for me. Yoko's husband is doing a sexy dance in front of her, not really eating. I wish. I wish. No, he was just being goofy. But yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, watch later. Oh, I see. Thank you. Yes. Man, I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. Should I go? It's so dark outside though. It's only 3 p.m. and it's so dark because the weather is bad. But anything else? I'm getting interviewed soon, so that there will be, hopefully that will get published. So that's the final thing. And I need to clean our place. What are you guys doing for Christmas or at the end of the year? Man, Americans especially, I think your break is longer. Maybe, or maybe it's just that it's a bit like Japanese people work or go to school until around Christmas Day. Or yeah, people work at the very end of December, and then take a break, and then for the first week or so we have it off. But after that, I mean, like Americans, I have the impression that you guys go on vacation. But anyway, I guess I talked about everything I wanted to in this stream, so I should go, right? I have to, let my doggy out, meaning my husband. He was like, before I came on, he was like, I need to go for a walk, go for a walk. So I need to walk him. So thank you so much for, coming. I always appreciate it that you guys care enough to come to my stream. And I know that it's late there. Sorry for starting off late again, but yes, Rose Parade time. What does it mean? But yeah, I'll have one more stream this year, and that will be it. Oh, it's a Christmas Day. Nice. I'll be just a child, and you'll be my Santa, and I will wait for your super chat on Christmas Day. But no, like I don't want to just take, this is give and take. So I really want to offer more. So if you have questions and so on, or if you want that, topics that you want me to work on and so on, just let me know so that I can expand my knowledge and get back to you and so on. So in the meantime, if you miss me, please please follow me on Twitter at Random Yoko. Also subscribe to this channel, Random Yoko, too, if you haven't. Okay, have fun, enjoy the fresh air. Thank you, Yoko and Hide. Stay warm. Yes, we will. Thank you. Oh, parade. Okay. So have a great night or day, guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon in a week. Okay, bye.